Hey guys, how you doing? Earlier in the program, we took a look at the rituals of gratuitous violence. Basically, we studied the amateur attacker a little bit. Now, following this progression, and assuming that you're actually going to watch these videos and practice the techniques, today we're going to take a look at your first primary offensive weapon. And that offensive weapon is the punch. Now, I want you to follow through with me on this scenario. For whatever reason, your attackers or would-be attackers have deemed you to be in code white. In other words, you're oblivious to them and you're oblivious to the rest of the world. For whatever reason. But we know you're not in code white, right? You're in code yellow. And soon to be in code orange. But your attackers don't realize this. So they approach you and boom, you go into code orange. Now they follow their plan to the letter. They're climbing up the rungs of the ladder of violence, priming themselves for the attack, and getting ready to jump off. And you're aware of this. But you're also aware that you're presently trapped, that there is no avenue of escape. So it's either time to get busy or it's time to get hurt. So, what do? That's right, you drop back into your passive-aggressive position. Now, your initial attacker here who's in front of you, he's going off, man. He's getting angry. He's starting to shout. He's starting to act aggressively. He is basically pointing his finger, nodding his head, pecking like a rooster, and his eyes are bulging up out of his head. Man, he's coming through with a big adrenaline rush, so you know the moment of truth has come. So what do? That's right, you punch first. You punch again. You see the second guy coming. Then you come back and punch your first guy, and you run to safety. Hey, you were able to do this because you kept your head. You were able to do this because you were alert and you were aware. You knew the rituals of the amateur attacker. You anticipated their movement. You were able to do this because you studied how to punch. You learned how from this video. And you were able to get away because you knew and you were smart enough to unask the AO as soon as the opportunity presented itself. So what do you say we take a look at the punch? Alright guys, this is not the BKE Power Punching Series, nor is it a boxing seminar. What you're going to learn today is how to throw a fundamentally strong and correct straight punch. That's simple. The objective here is to make sure that your fist lands at the same moment that all your weight is forward on that front foot. What I don't want you to do, guys, is what most people do. That's step, slide, and punch. We need to make sure that the fist lands at the same moment our weight is forward. To do this, it's very simple. Your hands are already here tucked into your ribs, right? This is your guide for a straight punch. Don't put them out here. The punch is no longer straight and it no longer has focus or commitment. Keep them right here. This is one of the reasons we have you tuck them into your side. Now, if I want to start this before I step, all I need to do is slightly pull it away from my ribs, right? Because as soon as it leaves that area, I'm going to step and they're going to land together. So remember that. That's how you do it. Just work your timing. Move it and step. Move it and step. That simple. Now, the title of this DVD is The Punch Comes First. Obviously, you've given yourself distance to do that when you drop back into your defensive posture or your passive-aggressive posture. The punch is a gross motor skill. It is very simple to learn. All it takes is practice. Practice on your timing. Practice on your focus. Practice on your commitment. It comes before blocking. It comes before fancy evasion techniques. It comes before those release points and pressure points that you think are going to work, that they tell you will work in an adrenaline situation. Well, I got news for you. 9 out of 10 times they do not. The punch comes first. You must learn and you must practice to get that timing down. So all things being simple around here, let's go through your checklist real quick. All right, check number 1. We step back, we're cocked, our elbows are tucked in, we now have our guide. Check number 2, I need to initiate my punch before I step so that my forward momentum and my fist all land at the same time. Point number 3, I want you to start aiming your punches with your third knuckle. This is going to accomplish 2 things for you instead of your second knuckle. Number 1, we have a much larger impact zone here, right? This is going to create a lot more trauma on the guy than with this. Number 2, because of the structure of our hand and the width of that impact zone, it reduces the likelihood of injury. I'm going to keep it short. I'm going to keep it simple. And the final point of this whole process today is to make sure you push through the target. You strike through the target versus striking at the target like that. Snapping that punch. Don't snap your punch. If you're Sugar Ray Leonard and you're boxing for points, the snap is okay. You got to do damage. You got to knock those people down or out, and you got to get out of there. Punch through your target. There's a big difference between that and that, as you can well see. All right? So that does it for the straight punch today. If you have any questions, you know where to go. Go to the forum, pose your question, or even go by the guest register and leave me a request to get in touch with you.